Welcome to the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships. We are here in the last round of pool play in the men's division. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen on Sky Magazine. Bad Skid versus El Oso here in Lecco, Italy. Beautiful sight today. The sun is out, some clouds overhead, but it's a hot one, and the fields have started to dry up. Liam, we've seen better conditions. But first, we're going to look here at El Oso, a team in terms of Colombia that's come onto the forefront, and they have a very special community.
They're called Comunidad el Oso, which means Community of the Bear. This is one of those historic, successful teams in Colombia Ultimate. They were founded in 2003 in Bogota. They have won tournaments throughout Colombia's history. Until then, their only challenger has been Colombian rival Euphoria, who's also here at this tournament. Oso lost to Euphoria on Universe Point at Colombia Nationals last year, so both teams very, very strong. Brian, this game has implications for advancing to power pools. This pool has been very close, with Oso losing to Colombia by 2 points, or beating Bologna by 2 points, losing to Bologna by 2 points, I'm sorry, and Bad Skid beating Bologna by 1 point. So Oso essentially needs to beat Bad Skid by 2 points to advance to power pools. If they lose to Bad Skid, they are out, and if Bad Skid allows a greater goal differential than that, Bad Skid is down. So this game is very important for the power pool matchup.
And on the other side, we were looking at that team, Bad Skid. They're a bunch of young kids ready to grow up at this tournament, Liam.
Bad Skid started out as a team that was indeed called The Kids. They were a bunch of kids from the Heilbronn era, which has been a stalwart in German Youth Ultimate throughout the years, even hosting the Youth World Championships. And they've grown up, changed their name to Bad Skid. They formed a club team in the area around Heilbronn in southwestern Germany to try to keep those kids playing Ultimate.
And as we get started, we have Bad Skid receiving the pole in the white, El Oso in the green and yellow shorts. A zone shown right away from El Oso, something we expected after talking to their captain.
Yeah, Captain Julian Bocanegra told us that he was going to try to employ a zone to stop some of the hucks from Bad Skid.
Waldvogel, excuse me. It's actually him in the middle. He's going to receive it now.
It's Nico Müller on the far sideline.
Bowler. Waldvogel. Trying to go through the zone. Dumping and swinging. Not much pressure from this Colombian zone. Müller.
They've now switched to man.
Up the line. Knocking at the doorstep for the first goal of the game. Bad Skid goes up 1-0.
So Oso showing zone on that first point, just trying to test Bad Skid out, trying to see if they could work it up the line against the zone defense.
And they did a great job of that, being able to go through a soft zone from Colombia, El Oso, trying to prevent the huck game from Bad Skid, which is what they've been known for. Very competitive pool, as you said. Implications all around for either team winning in this one.
Comunidad el Oso was selected, won the opportunity to represent Colombia in Japan at the World Ultimate and Guts Championship in 2012. Most of the same players return for this tournament. They do have a couple of new players. They actually told us they believe they have the youngest player in the Open Division at the World Ultimate Club Championships. At 14 years old, number 33, look out for him, Alejandro Briseño.
Trying to bring up their youth and their juniors. Phil Haas getting set to pull the disc, played for Next Gen. Very loose zone here from the Germans. And now the wind picking up. The flag's blowing the back of your screen. I should say the top.
It has not been an exceptionally windy tournament so far. Wind has not really played a factor in any of the games. This is a very typical Colombian way to beat a zone. You'll see them use very quick disc movement, 5 to 10 meter gainers. Rarely will they ever send it deep over the cup.
Transition to man defense. Along the sideline. Torres tipped. In for the goal. Ferrero comes up with it.
That was a nice tip from, I believe that was Johannes Schall, who laid out to get that one. Schall was the recipient of an award that actually allowed him to attend the National Ultimate Training Camp, the Phyllis Award in German Ultimate, named after a very well-known and respected German Ultimate player, played for Hardfish, who passed away from cancer. And his legacy has gone towards the creation of a scholarship for young German students to come to the U.S. and attend camp. So Shaw was the recipient of that award 2 years ago. Certainly taken a lot away from that experience as you see the tipped D and the score from Germán Forero.
Great bid. Not enough. El Oso strikes back, still down by 2. Here in our final game of pool play in the men's division at the World Ultimate Championships, Club Championships in Lecco, Italy. Bats get back and rushing down as defenders. And another 1-3-2-1 zone. Mueller through the cup. Quick movement. Badskett has it beat, and they're off to the races. Bowler. Boyton Mueller. Mueller to the end zone, wide open, and frustration from the defense. 5-2.
Velocity on that flick from Nico Müller. Bad skid. Happy early, bringing the energy. It can be tough mentally to know that you have to beat a team by a certain number of points, as is the case, as we mentioned before. The three-way tie scenario here. CUS Bologna is +2. Bad skid is +1. Oso is -3. We have a very complicated three-way tie scenario. It's all going to come on point differential for the three teams.
When it's that close of a point differential, you can just focus on winning. And El Oso just hasn't gotten out to a good start. I don't think it's a case of nerves, but Bad Skid really bringing a great defensive pressure. And their offense has been working silky smooth so far. I
think you just need to tell your team, we need to go out here and win the game. It doesn't matter how many points. You can worry about that once you're close to winning, once you're getting down to, okay, it's 14-13, playing that strategy of taking timeouts and trying to extend the game longer. For now, just focus on staying with the other team.
Another zone from the Germans. Colombia preferring to work it around.
Oso has a man way deep, actually 2 defenders deep, but in this wind, it would be tough to hit them.
Avila. Afanador. Zuluaga picks it up off the ground. Caught. Montoya. Finds the hole. And a big swing for yardage. Stuck on the sideline. This is exactly where the Germans want him, but a hammer to the end zone. Tipped. Bobbled. Did he catch it? He's going to be ruled down.
I believe that would have counted as well as an intentional self-mack, which is not legal. But a valiant effort, nevertheless, to try to keep that disc in. And it was a fantastic-looking hammer as well.
And an overthrow gives it back to Colombia. El Oso rushing to the disc.
This is an uncharacteristic error from Bad Skid, just a careless turnover on the dump.
Martin with the assist, 5-3.
Bad Skid, though, still up 2. They've got their room in a little bit of advantage here, so back on offense, they'll let their offensive line do the work.
Bad Skid with a 5-3 lead. Got off to a great start. El Oso still in this game. Needing to find a way, though, to disrupt this offense. Nico Mueller is back there to be centered, too, and we saw him at U23s. Playing great for Team Germany. Mueller goes for the flick hawk. Hanging up there. Snagged for the goal. 6-3.
It's a very common deep target. Holger Beutmüller. Looks like there's a call, though, on the play.
Travel call. This one will be coming back. Nico Mueller certainly take a big step into that one. Play restarts. Around instead for a big gain.
It's a call downfield again. Pick call.
Bad Skid will restart at half field. Mueller gets the centering pass. Swing back to Beutmüller. Mueller once again getting every other throw. Waldvogel. Quick dish. Now at the end line. Progressing through the options. Beutmüller. Dish for the score. Bad Skid goes up 6-3.
That's that offensive efficiency. This offensive line from Bad Skid is one of the best, if not the best in Europe. They pride themselves on their offense. These players have played together starting since they were juniors. Under 15 players have come up through the ranks of the Germany Junior Ultimate Program in the Heilbronn area, now playing together on Bad Skid.
Talking to the captains before the game, it was evident to them that they had not done very well with their dump cuts against CUSB Bologna in their game, saying that a lot of times they were relying on shoulder fakes and short, quick fakes, but the defender would not move because they were stuck in the mud, and they've gotten back to longer handler cuts.
Teams have had to adjust for the quality of the pitch. As we see here the replay, flick huck from Müller that was taken back, and then the dish from Bühler. Florian Bühler, by the way, who assisted that goal. Very sad story. His knees are in very bad condition. He has had 4 ACL surgeries at only 24 years of age. He'll have to retire from Ultimate Play after this year.
Very sad indeed, but he's lined up with 2 knee braces out there today, still competing for a world championship. Afanador. Zuluaga. Puts it over the cup. Ferrero. You can see the options very well spread out by the Colombians, well spaced, a lot of options, but the zone has them trapped. Ferrero.
Put a lot of tall players in that zone.
Up the sideline, the blade works, but the pass back does not. Haas quickly moving it. Van Hoff dishes it. You see the fast break in action. Reinhardt. Hubler to the end zone. Caught for the goal. Badskid takes a commanding 7-3 lead.
Samuel Beutenmüller with that catch. This is not the start that Oso wanted, especially when they need the 2-point advantage to move on to pool play. There's going to be a timeout called from Oso, and they'll talk it over.
Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Ultimate Championships. We'll be right back. Back in action at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships in Lecco, Italy. Sky Magazine here all week. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen. El Oso down 7-3, needing it to mount a comeback. Before we get to that, big shout out to the official photographer of the WUCC, Ulti-Photos. Be sure to check out all the great photos on ultiphotos.com. Haas going for the bend it like Beckham backhand once again. And just again unsuccessful, landing just out of bounds. Play resumes on the sideline. Not taking it at the brick. Now back.
It's like there was a foul downfield. Diego Afanador is holding his nose. He is not going to take a sub, though. Looks like there was just a collision.
And we'll get play restarted. Zuluaga back. Vertical stack. Afanador. Zuluaga. Looking for the around. Has it. Bumping on the mark. Play still continues. Ferrero.
Oso is getting pushed back, nearly in their own end zone now.
A little bit of momentum now going deep to the end zone. Speedy Cutter can't run it down.
That was possibly the right decision. I think it curved enough. You see a lot of things with the Colombian teams is they will blade their throws enough to be able to fit them right in to where the German receiver can't catch up. That one, though, just too far.
Haas. Shaw. Nearly double teamed. Chance to take half for bad skid. Haas in motion. Haas. Forced to go back to his own end zone. Renaka gets it off. And Haas calls the timeout. Trying to get the break before half. We'll be right back ourselves and see if Bad Skid can convert the break.
Skyed Magazine がお送りしました。
Skyed Magazine.
Skyed Magazine!
Skyed Magazine.
Skydy!
Meine Aufgabe ist dastehen und gut aussehen.
Es gibt Magazin Guacamayas!
Sky Magazine.
Seven to 3, Bad Skid up on El Oso. Haas with the disc out of the timeout. Now Hostak set up. Looking for the opportunity. El Oso taking their time to set up defensively. Haas with Britch downfield. Clearing out and going deep. Hanging this one. Caught on the backside. And a foul will be called by the Colombian defender.
Looks like he's saying he was shoved in the back, Kevin Nariño. Contested foul, so disc going all the way back to Haas.
There was contact. And you see this throughout the tournament where internationally some forms of contact are acceptable and some aren't. Disc back with Haas. Haas has really tried to loop those backhands, whether it's been with a huck or throwing the pole out of bounds.
Not a great shot for him, as there were 3 Colombian defenders there, but he did have the receiver with the height advantage.
Back to Haas. Haas striking too far.
It's an absolute bullet from Philip. So Oso sideline getting loud, spurring their boys on to bring this game to within 3.
And Batskid waits patiently in a zone formation. The 1-3-2-1. Both teams implementing it. Through the cup. Martin. Narino. Faking deep. And again, Colombia El Oso through the cup. Transfer of the disc doesn't work out.
Trying to rush it.
Granaka. Shaw. Shaw unmarked. He's taking his time. Now dishing it off. Granaka to Shaw. That's Haas. Fakes. Still no mark. Britch. Alder. Chance to break for half for Bad Skid. Right there, close. Haas. Dump swing. And too far. Intended for Shaw.
3rd turnover of the point for Philip Haas.
Haas expecting Shaw to go for that. It looked like Shaw gave up a little early. Maybe lost it in the sun as the sun is setting in that direction.
Bad Skid back in their zone.
Quick movement. Gains a couple yards.
Colombians not shy about putting discs low right through the cup.
Torres. Calling the double team. Ferrero. Blade to the sideline. Was he in?
Very risky throw. He's actually being called out by Haas.
The sideline also pointing out.
This is a situation where you can go to the game advisor who had a great view of that play. So he's going to explain to the players what he saw.
Byron Hicks.
Byron Hicks is experienced as anyone in making these line calls.
This will be ruled out.
That's a tough throw. That crossfield blade just floated too far. It's not an easy one to control.
Haas. Again, Bad Skid with a chance. Kuhn. Shaw. To Haas. Late bid. Looking for Brish. Has to go late. Behind, but Brish makes a catch. Haas. Shaw. Haas losing a lot of yards on those back dumps. Britch. Goes to the front of the stack. Shaw.
Good dump defense from Oso here. Bad Skid's having some trouble getting their dumps off. And the 4th turnover, another miscommunication between Britch and Haas.
El Oso will take it back. A long marathon point.
Philip Haas's plus minus is going down after this one, and Bad Skid will stay in their zone.
Looking deep. El Oso. Too far. Torres. Julian Torres looking for the deep shot.
So Haas will take his time with this one.
So we think. He hasn't so far.
Take his time at least walking up to the disc, maybe not hesitating and putting it deep again.
Bad skid. Wanting to be patient, wanting to work it. Haas will take it at the close cone. Haas pops it up. Another turnover. El Oso with a goal line and a golden opportunity.
If Oso can't convert here, this is the end for their offense. This is an absolute gift for them.
Zuluaga to the end zone for the score. 7-4.
And in times like this, I think we need to go back to the article by Lou Burris, who talked about what you need to do if you have a bad point. Philip Haas is a fantastic player, has been representing Ultimate in Germany at the juniors level, and now at the big kid level at the World Ultimate Club Championships. Take a moment, forget about that point. Focus on positive mental game for the rest of this game. Bad skid, nothing to worry about. They're still up 7-4, but Colombian teams can be very much about mental game. They get on a run, they get fired up, they can sneak up on you.
Also with the opportunity, they stay alive. One throw is all it takes. We welcome back the Bad Skid offense after a long absence here in the big kid division.
We had Junior Worlds 2 weeks ago. Now we have Big Kid Worlds this week. That's actually what the juniors call it. At least the American juniors that I know.
Big kid, big boy, men's division, however you want to call it. Great sight here in Lecco.
As that pole goes up over with the mountains as the backdrop. If you say anything about this tournament, you can't deny that it's not beautiful. There's a pick downfield. Disc will stay in the hands of Bühler.
4 ACL surgeries, just so tough to go through. Layout bid, not there.
We have not seen too many active defenses from the Colombians. Germans are so good at putting the disc to space, there just haven't been many opportunities for it.
Müller. Müller. The dish. Müller to the end zone for half.
And it looks like there's a call. No call on the play. The Colombians are confused. The player was left wide open. And those kind of mistakes just cannot happen.
Bit of exasperation heading into half. Bad Skid with the lead, up 8-4 here on Sky Magazine. We'll be back with second half action in about 10 minutes. Be sure to stay tuned as we'll have an interview on the field in a few moments. As we take a look at the line call. Hard to tell from the replay.
During halftime, send Brian or I a message on Twitter. You can find me at Skyd_Liam Rosen, Brian Jones at No Look Scuba. You see our Twitter accounts on the stream there. Love to hear from any Colombians or Germans that are watching this game. Shout out to Felix Shardlow, who gave me some information about a self-mac. He says self-mac, we saw one earlier in the game, is legal so long as the intention is to not to advance the disc in any direction. Making the catch easier is allowed.
And with that, we'll head to half. Bad Skid leads El Oso 8-4 here on Sky Magazine. Stay tuned for our interview. We'll be back in a bit.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Ultimate Globetrotter. We're here on Boracay Island in the Philippines, home of the Beach Ultimate Kings of Asia, the fierce and speedy Boracay Dragons. running on the sand's going to get easier, but it doesn't. So we are on our way to check out some cockfighting.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Boracay Open has always been the turf of the Dragons.
Most of the players are based here in the island. It's second nature to them to run on the beach.
When we train almost every day.
High knees in the water, swimming, sprinting on the beach. Do this after every single practice.
You know, it's what they do. They're beach ultimate players.
Movement is like I 1 and 2.
The only thing we ask from them is to train. Train hard and play hard.
Younger boy. You have to think that this is already the championship game.
You have to aggressively send your kite back to 12, pull the bar.
We're here at Mandala Spa and Villas, about to receive an world-class massage.
It's not just about the game, it's also about our lifestyle here in the island.
Dragons are the beach kings of Asia and maybe the world soon. It's now time also for us to share to the world what we know about Beach Ultimate.
Three, two, one.
I'm here with Danny from Comunidad el Oso. They're here playing Bad Skid. So Danny, how's the game gone so far in the first half for you guys?
Okay, this game is very important for us because we try to pass to the next pool in the next game, and it's a very hard work. It's a very hard play because Bad Skid is the first team in the Alemania. I don't know. In the pool, and that people is so stronger. They have a play so very taller. They go to play so higher, and I have to play so stronger, and I have to play so organized to make a big work for play this game and pass to the pool. I don't know.
That's fine. So yeah, you really have to win this game, right, to get to the power pool. Is what you're saying, right? To the next stage of the tournament, right?
Right.
Yeah. And looking like at the tournament itself, are you enjoying your time in Lecco and in Italy? Are you having a nice time?
Wow, can you?
Yeah. So are you enjoying the time you're spending here at the tournament? And what do you think about Lecco and how the tournament's going? What are your thoughts on the town itself?
Okay, it's a strong tournament because the best people come here to play Ultimate Frisbee, and all the players are so mentalized to make a big grabs, make a big passes, and that people don't want lose the games. Everybody wants to game the tournament, and everybody have the mentality to gain it. I don't know if I have to, if I make a mistake, I will pay it with the game because everybody is only thinking in the finals and they make the better presentation for this tournament, and everybody come for Lecco to play a stronger game, play with the spirit game, highly spirit game, and I think so the people can make the stronger way. I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's fun. Thanks very much, Danny, and good luck in the rest of your game and the rest of the tournament, and I hope you guys do well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll have the second half in just a bit. Thanks.
Welcome back to second half action here in Lecco, Italy for the 2014 World Ultimate Championships, Club Championships. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen here on Sky Magazine's coverage. We'll be here all week. This is day 2. Pool play in the men's division. The final game, Bad Skid versus El Oso. The winner moves on to power pools, with the exception of a few tiebreakers, but basically that's it.
You saw the beautiful view of Lecco on this showcase field. Even with problems with the tournament, the scenery continues to remain as today the town actually lost all of its water. The aqueducts dried up. They weren't exactly sure why. Luckily, half of the water spigots at the fields are serviced by another town that does have water, so at least there's some water at the tournament.
Zuluaga on the sideline, Bad Skid in the green. Sorry, Bad Skid in the white. El Oso in the green, up the line. Martin, deep, Martin for the end zone. El Oso starting off the second half right, but a call is going to bring this one back.
Sergio Martin is one of the shortest players on Oso's roster, but he is their most frequent deep cutter. I have seen him run deep at a variety of tournaments. He is just incredibly fast and always has the skills to get open. So they just put the disc out for him so he can run right into it.
He might have to do it again. He still has a big lead on his defender. Play restarts.
They're not going to send it again, though, as another foul is called.
Martin marked by Adler deep. And here we get going. For Zuluaga, physicality up the line and a call. And I can't believe this one, Liam. The defender is the culprit, if anything, here.
Bad Skid calling a foul.
The defender initiates contact in order to play physically and then wants to call the foul. Not sure about that one.
Well, it'll be contested back into the hands of the Colombian handler.
Forced to go backwards. Barrera floats one out. Bad Skid rips it down. Belarus gets the D. Wojtemüller. Volmer. And more collisions. Foul called. Wojtemüller will keep the disc.
Ferrero looks like he was injured on that play. He tried to go in for the defense. That's the second time that play earlier that a floaty swing pass has ended in disaster for the Colombians.
Flip and a turnover back to El Oso.
Köbler slipped on the mud.
Martin going deep. Defender is there.
And that's the biggest height mismatch on the field, possibly. Wojtemüller against Martin.
Bad Skid the other way. Wojtemüller. Tipped. Back to El Oso.
And the second mistake for Christoph Köbler.
Zuluaga. Herrera. Ferrero. Back to Herrera on the sideline. Dump to Zuluaga. Herrera to the end zone. Martin tipped for the D.
Colombia is having a hard time dealing with Bad Skid's height. And they can't manage to convert on these mistakes. This is not an exceptionally good game for Bad Skid. It's a good game, but they could play so much better. They've had some miscommunications, they've had throwaways, but Colombia is unable to convert on them.
It's a little bit of a reversal where the defense is playing better against Bologna. They want to get the offense running. Bad Skid can't wait to get the offense back in the field. They've been commanding in this game, and the defense has forfeited some chances, especially at the end of the first half. Going deep. Mueller has position tipped. No foul. Back to El Oso, but an injury on the play.
Mueller looks like he got injured on that one. I don't know if he can stand up.
He got rolled up on.
Looks like he is getting up now, so maybe not too bad, but he will. It's possibly his ankle, Brian. This is not good for Bad Skid. Boitmuller's right ankle. And he's not able to put any weight on it. See that again. He lands on that right ankle. Check it out on the replay.
Gets his leg wrapped up in, and not a pretty sight. Hope he's okay.
So Bühler will come in for Boitmuller.
Play restarts. Herrera gets the swing off. Ferrero, deep, open in the end zone. El Oso gets on the board in the second half.
El Oso very lucky, but very happy to convert that point. Bad Skid's defensive line just was not getting it done.
Bad Skid's defense was quite good throughout the point, but like you said, after the turnover, normally they're relying on Philip Haas to get it done, but he's taking a break, a little bit of a sit because of having a 3 turnover point.
I believe more than 3 turnovers. I think it was actually 5 turnovers. But who's counting at this point? I think maybe it's time to get Haas back in the game and involved.
Before that, Bad Skid will get their offense on the field as we take a look at the replay. Wide open in the end zone. Antonio Barrera with the goal. Don't forget to tune into all our coverage here on Sky Magazine during the week. Check out our newsletter on skymagazine.com. Fill you in on all the action going on here in Lecco across all divisions. El Oso trying to get back in this game. Mueller will center to, no, will take it at the cone. Gets it off the sideline. Reinert, call on the play. Florian Bowler had it in his hands, but it's going to go back here to Mueller. Mueller jacks it deep. Waldvogel runs it down for the score.
Play of the game so far. Nico Müller. Oh, but it's going to be called back. Might have been a travel call. And Marvin Waldvogel is going to have to do it again after that fantastic reception. Just Nico Müller jacking it deep. That was going to be the Bad Skid TV connection. Any viewers out there that follow Bad Skid on YouTube will know that one. Nico Müller and Marvin Waldvogel, the stars of that show.
Play restarts, and why not try it again, but this one won't be executed as well.
Comunidad el Oso needs to concentrate and convert this one here. They're being given an incredible gift to bring the game to within 2. This will make it winnable for them.
Rodriguez. This is swung, but a pick is going to be called and everything will be coming back. Discussion still ensuing. Play restarts. El Oso. Afanador. Martin. And another call.
Travel called.
Martin. The end zone. El Oso strikes back. And another travel called.
Been too many calls in this point so far.
Play restarts. Martin. Montoya. Herrera. One pass needed. Now having forced to go back. Flips the disc. On the run to the end zone. Will this one count? No calls on the field.
It's a miracle. And El Oso gets the break there, just what they needed to spur the momentum. As I said before, Colombian teams are all about mental game. If you can string off a couple of breaks in the row, get your sideline involved, get the fans involved, they have a chance to come back in this game. Meanwhile, Bad Skid's offense will come in. It looks like something's happening on the field, Brian, possibly a spirit timeout. The game advisors are getting involved.
I've never been a part of this one before. Have you seen?
And this is something new. I'm not sure if it's written in the Game Advisor rules, but I think they want to get everyone together and remind them of a couple things, maybe feeling that the game was getting a bit too chippy.
Well, as they take a break, we're going to take a break here on Sky Magazine. And we'll be right back. Actually, teams are breaking now, so we'll stay with you. 8-6. Bad Skid took an 8-4 lead in the half. El Oso back in the game after a number of long points.
And if that really was what the game advisors are saying there, I like that idea of just saying to both the teams, hey, let's not let this game become a game of who can look at people's feet and see whether they travel or not. Let's just play Ultimate. This game is on the live stream. Games are stopping now. People are coming over to watch this one as we near the 60-minute mark.
This game is on the live stream here on Sky Magazine with Brian Jones and Liam Rosen.
I know, it's very meta. And you wouldn't be hearing me say this as we take a look. Look at this rip from Nico Müller. Anyone who wants to learn how to throw a backhand, study the mechanics of Nico.
Bad Skid's offense falters, but they'll have another shot. And the defense for El Oso gets down quickly. Sliding catch, but either a foul or injury.
Köbler just a bit shaken up. I don't think there was an injury, just a foul call.
It restarts.
This is where the Colombians will really start to put the defensive pressure on. They can feel the breaks coming.
A little bit of energy after their several breaks. Mueller looking deep, wide open. Goal for Bad Skid, 9-6.
Great deep run from the physical fitness personal trainer, Christoph Köbler.
Deep cut originates very close to the disc. No problem delivering it out in front. Marco Mueller.
Bad Skid does everything right in regards to what we've chastised other teams for doing in regards to deep shots, which is they throw their deep shots mostly off of power position. Power position meaning that someone is making an upline cut or off a swing pass. They have momentum and with a cutter going deep on the other third of the field. That was a textbook deep shot.
Going back to some statistics, Pittsburgh actually took at college nationals back in the U.S. Standstill hucks were completed at a rate of 35%. Power position hucks at a rate of 60%. Just that little bit of movement helps the timing, helps everything out. It's hard to time from a standstill. And hard to throw from a static marking position.
Comunidad el Oso lines up to receive the pole, celebrating their 11th birthday as a team. They describe themselves as like a family. Team is built on community values like friendship. They're involved in the youth scene. They integrate in their team, helping out with social programs in poor neighborhoods in Colombia.
Poachy defense from the handler defenders, giving all the swings back and forth, not allowing nothing upfield. And El Oso is content to swing it back and forth. We'll zip this one to Ferrero. Now going cross-field shot to the end zone for the score. El Oso right back at him.
Oso staying with it. Nice and easy. That's exactly what their offensive line needs to do. Now they need to come in on their D-line and cash in a couple breaks.
Bats get only up by 2 after taking a 4-point lead in the half. Take a look at the replay. And this is where we talk about the Buzz Bullets comparison. A cross-field shot, wide open, Fajardo in the end zone.
This is quintessential Colombian ultimate. It's the blades to space. They know they're not the tallest players in the world, so they use the space effectively to put the disc right where the offensive player can run onto it.
Bad Skid returns. Bueller centers the disc. Paul Vogel. Bueller. Reinert. Center to Mueller. Looking for options. Mueller, will this one count? No travel call. Can he run it down? A layout too far away.
And Oso with a chance to bring the game to within 1.
We praise the Bad Skid offense for running so efficiently in the first half. And also, credit to them, has figured it out. And some conversation going on where the disc needs to be taken. I'm very confused right now at the point.
They're actually going to bring in the game advisor on this one. I think Oso wants to call a timeout. Oso's going to call a timeout. So Buda was confused about if he actually needs to bring it up to the line first or if he can call the timeout without bringing it up.
Greg Connolly clarifies the situation. And we'll see if El Oso can clarify their own situation. We'll be back in a few minutes. Back at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships. Last round of pool play in the Big Boys division. Bad Skid up 9-7 over El Oso. Bad Skid from Germany. El Oso from Bogota, Colombia. Bump on the mark, doesn't phase. Going deep. Circles around. Had it in his hands, going to call strip.
I think this is a good call, Brian. There was contact, and the receiver clearly had the disc right in his hands.
Still discussion going on. It did look like it got into the Colombian's hands.
And I'm really glad this game has advisors. This is the most they've been brought in so far, and they really have seemed to help further discussion between the two players.
Byron Hicks telling them what's what.
And for those just watching us tune in, Hicks is just allowed to give his opinion. He's not able to make a ruling, but it will be a contested foul.
You can see why the defender, he was right there at the same time, clearly in the hands of the receiver. If they had a replay, maybe they would think differently. Nonetheless, glad that this can get moved on. Greg Connolly saying, no, come back to the sideline.
Not a great decision for Oso either. They sent it deep to a very short receiver, and Bad Skid's height has so far.
Travel called.
And play actually should not stop here under WFTIV rules. So it doesn't.
This goes underneath. Barrera. Flipped. Herrera sent one deep earlier. Out to space. Floaty. Rodriguez. Quick flip on the doorstep. Quick flip for the score. El Oso within one.
El Oso playing with fuego, with corazon. They feel that they can tie this game up 9-8. Bad Skid, and if you're watching now from Colombia, you have to be excited.
I believe he said they were on fire, folks who do not speak Spanish. 9-8, Bad Skid had the lead, had command of this game, and it's slipping through their fingers.
And this has not been, as I said before, an excellent game for Bad Skid. This has been a good game from Bad Skid. And if Oso had taken advantage of Bad Skid's earlier mistakes, we would be seeing a much different game. We would see Oso on top by 1 or 2. They're now just starting to cash in those breaks.
They've gotten 2 short fields out of it. A couple of Nico Mueller's Hawks going out of bounds. El Oso has just clamped down on this defense. They've not been throwing the zone. That did not work. They've been forcing Bad Skid to go with their Hucks. And Bad Skid has had openings, but not been able to execute, at least without not traveling.
Oso experience on the international scene. Won Colombia Nationals in 2010 and 2011. Made the finals in 2013, losing on Universe Point.
High throw for Haas. Haas grabs it down. Contact is going to call injury or a foul to just get back up.
Slashed across the chest by Bocanegra.
Haas directing traffic. And tipped. A turnover back to El Oso with a chance to tie.
Oso sideline loud. There was a bit of miscommunication as to who should pick up this disc.
Afanador to the end zone. Tied it up at 9s.
And Oso sideline is going crazy as this looks like a completely different game. Brian, this has implications for who's going to move on to power pools.
And let's go over those right now. If Bad Skid were to win, they will move on. They will go in first place no matter what. Bad Skid loses by 1. They're still through, but in second place. Bad Skid, if they lose by any more than 1, i.e. El Oso wins by 2, El Oso is through.
So this is the full three-way tie scenario, and I wish I had some facility to draw this out on the screen to make it easier. There are 3 teams involved in a possible three-way tie. There's Bad Skid, who's 2-0. Bologna and Oso are 1-1. Right now, Bologna is on top with a +2 point differential. Bad Skid has a +1 point differential, and Oso has a -3 point differential. So, assuming Cusp Bologna wins their last game, if Oso wins by more than 6, they'll go through as number 1 in the pool, with Bologna as number 2. If they win by 2 to 5, Bologna will go through as number 1, with Oso as number 2. If they only win by 1, then they're out. So they need to win this game by 2 to be able to advance. Bad Skid can still sneak through to the power pools with a 1 point loss.
Liam Rosen lays it out for us here on Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Ultimate Championships, Club Championships, here in Lecco, Italy. 9-9. Bad Skid once led 8-4. And it's been turnover after turnover that's been costing Bad Skid. Well, El Oso has responded, cashing in on those breaks. Defense ready to pull. They've been coming down in man-to-man. Herrera sends it deep.
And Bad Skid's sideline, who has looked positively lethargic when compared with other Colombian squads, is really getting involved now.
Waldvogel. Beulah. Haas. Haas to the end zone for the score, and Bad Skid responds.
Marco Müller, not a care in the world, toes the line with the one-handed grab to put Bad Skid back on top by 1.
It's as if they remembered how to play. Out of the timeout. Quick, deep.
And that is exactly how Bad Skid plays.
Some talking going on between Waldvogel and Zuluaga. Actually, Afanador.
If you're following this game from Colombia, Germany, anywhere else in the world, send us a tweet. You can find me at skied_Liam Rosen. That's LIAMROSEN. You can find Brian Jones at no_look_Scuber. We'll read out the best tweets on air as this game just got real interesting. We want to see what the fans are thinking at home.
And all the fans here are coming out. Their game's ending the last round of the day. This will be the last game going on. Zuluaga calls the foul. Physical marks. Quick dish through the zone.
Travel called. So Bad Skid hoping that the zone can put a stop to Oso's offense. We saw this a couple times before. They simply moved it through with those low throws through the cup.
And a violation will be called. Comments here about traveling on the steps. El Oso trying to use the run through. You catch and you have 3 steps. That change direction or velocity, and you have to reset just before the 3rd ground contact. Afanador gets it back. Zulaga. Looking for the swing, Fajardo. Martin, the speedster, now with a disc. El Oso has broken through.
They've been getting out up that near sideline without too much trouble.
Fajardo to the end zone. They tied at 10.
Bad skid. I like the decision to come out with the zone now, see if they can maybe cash in a break, go up 2, but Oso proves that they will not be defeated, ties it up at 10s as more players continue to flood onto this field after the games. Word usually goes around. We're here at a big field complex in Lecco. People are always looking for which games are tight.
And like you said, the scenario here, El Oso to move on must win by more than 2. Actually, just win by 2. More than 1. 2 or more will send them on. There's some other placement options. Bad skid simply just has to win. But a loss only by 1 would move them on. And right now, a tie situation that we may hit a cap coming on soon.
85 minutes would be the point cap. Add 1. We're at 79 minutes right now.
El Oso has to move quickly. They have only a few points left where they can come away with this one and advance.
I'm not sure that they're aware. I mean, they must be aware, but there's no visual indication that they're telling their players to speed it up. If I was the captain, that's what I would be saying right now.
Spill hanging. Stays in bounds.
Bad skid, on the other hand, can play the clock to their advantage. Even if they lose by 1, they can still slow the game down enough to where it doesn't matter. They have to execute on offense, though.
Reinert. Bueller to the ground. Keeps possession. Call on the play. Contact on the mark. Play will restart. Hartman back. Reinert. Bueller gets open. Shifty moves, and another foul on the mark. Bueller not having any of this physicality. El Oso cannot afford to get scored on in this situation. Layout D not there. Quick dish. Rimmig. Reinert. Bueller. Flip for the score, 11-10.
El Oso have to respond quickly. Coming up on 81 minutes.
4 minutes till cap. They must have to score and then put one on there immediately after. They can actually go into cap in a situation where the horn is blown, tied. Because as long as they score that point, plus 1 is added to the score, they can still win by 2. They'll just have to score this one in the next 3 minutes. Take a look at the replay. Bueller flips the backhand.
Florian Bueller possibly playing the last season of his career. He's had 4 ACL surgeries. At the age of only 24 years old, he'll have to retire next year. And he wants to go out on top with the club that he's been with since he started his ultimate playing career. Bad skid. Not always bad skid. Before that, they were called the Kids. Had juniors programs. These Players all came up together, playing Ultimate, have represented Germany on national teams, training together.
Zuluaga and El Oso must move quickly. The time is running against them. Martin putting it deep. Has a cutter on the goal line. Flips in for the score. Ties it at 11, and they're still alive.
Still a lot of time left on the clock. But Bad Skid can now take their time to line up.
And it doesn't matter at this point. Here's the situation. They have to win by 2 El Oso, or else they will not advance, and so Bad Skid will. So for them, they need to come out, get this point started before cap, which there should be enough time. 2 minutes to go. Score. Go up 12-11. Have the +1 added, game to 13, and they will have to score the next 2 to take it away. Bad Skid can hold just once. It will be tournament over as we take a look at the Huck. Nariño flips for the goal.
Shout out to Juan Pablo Molano. He says, watching the game from the U.S. Vamos Oso. Gabriel Casano says, thrilling game on Sky Magazine. El Oso coming back. More shout outs on Twitter as we get down to the game wire. You can tweet at me, tweet at Sky Magazine, or tweet Sky_Liam Rosen.
And here we go. Universe point on this tournament, on their world season for El Oso. Going deep, Bad Skid, defender is there. Running onto it, tipped. El Oso with a chance.
Time cap will likely go on this point. 85 minutes.
Pick the disc up on the goal line. They have to march 70 meters. Looking for an option. They can take their time here. They do not need to score quickly. Bad Skid has them in the back of their own end zone. Putting it deep. Bueller is back there. High up in the air, and the foul will be called.
That was a fantastic jump from Bocanegra, but I don't know if he had a play on the disc.
Bocanegra, it looked like he was on his way down after being contacted by Bueller.
That was really a fantastic jump. Bocanegra, longtime player from Colombia, represented Colombia various times, was the captain of the Colombian Open team in Japan. That's hard on the replay. It actually does look like he was very close to catching the disc.
Greg Connolly discussing the play.
And the game advisor, Connolly, will call it. It's going to be a contested foul, so disc all the way back.
And in a tight game like this, the game advisors have already sped things up. We've sat here for a minute longer than maybe we'd like in a USAU observe game, but nonetheless, we've come to a decision because we've seen these things get out of hand very quickly. So take a look again. He goes up and contact. That, it looks like actually a pretty good call.
Yeah.
And
I think Bueller's only concern was that he might have not had a complete play on the disc. That's very, very hard.
Up the line again, flip back. El Oso with momentum. Rodriguez. Afanador. Barrera. Sidelines gathered here. Everybody trying to watch. Open underneath. Contact makes the play. An injury is going to be called. Torres. Julian Torres comes up with it. Strains out his knees.
Looks actually like that's Kevin Nariño, 35.
Couldn't see the 3 and the 2 from here. Although kudos to their jerseys, as these ones are much easier to read than in the past. Gets the dump off. Trapped on the sideline. Rodriguez. Up the line.
There's no mark on Grimmig. Finally catches up.
Montoya. El Oso must score here. And then they must break for the win if they are to advance. Rodriguez.
Lots of tension, but still very much an uphill battle for El Oso. Sidelines getting loud now, chanting Oso, Oso, Oso.
The bear, the bear, the bear. Play restarts. For option, tightly covered. And they keep it live. Montoya. Herrera, hammer to the back of the end zone. Tipped. Indeed. And a foul. I do not agree with this one, and I don't think I need to see a replay to say that.
Two defenders there with position. That looked fairly clear, but I think it's always helpful to see the replay, and it may have been hard to see from back here what exactly occurred.
We'll take a look at the replay. Herrera with the gusto. Put it deep.
German defenders had position. We see it from the back angle.
It would be a tough sell to say, even if he's calling it on that second effort, the defender's already had position and right to that space. You would be the one initiating contact. I think the right call here would be a turnover, but it looks like unless he can be talked out of it.
And game advisors having to come back again and remind them that the call is contested.
And this is the game where they're going to the WFDF is going to review what happened here, because this is a prime example of how they would want to see how game advisors are being used. And it's going to go back. Herrera.
It's a violation on the field.
The sun has hid behind the clouds, and we're overcast going in the evening times. And everybody's here, lined up along the sidelines. Here on Sky Magazine, Brian Jones, Liam Rosen. 11-11, Bad Skid versus El Oso. El Oso must win by 2 to advance. Layout near the end zone. Bocanegra. Afanador puts it back. Rodriguez. Call downfield.
Like possibly a pick downfield.
And Herrera, who launched the hammer, we'll keep it again. There's been a couple of contested fouls on this point that both teams would like to review. I think the first one we decided, Bocanegra actually had a great play on it. And a little bit of contact at just before the disc arrived.
An intense end zone stand for El Oso.
Inside break. Not in. El Oso, one more pass. You'll need more after this. Flips it in. Caught for the goal. El Oso still alive. It is not enough again for them to win this game. They must win by 2 and must score this point. And if I believe correctly where the cap situation is, we should be a game to 13.
It's 12-11, but it's universe.
Back here at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships, we take a look at the replay. El Oso fits it in to stay alive, and it's basically a universe point situation for El Oso, Liam.
We're basically clarifying that for the sideline as well. I'm not sure many of them know. They might celebrate even if Oso wins the game. Oso has to break here. This is Bad Skid's star offensive line.
Don't be fooled by the score again. We've said it before. El Oso has to win by 2. This is a game to 13, so they have to win this point. This is universe for the tournament. If they win, if El Oso able to score here, Bad Skid will be eliminated, which would be a pretty surprising result. The first shocking elimination from this tournament.
Universe point line for Bad Skid. Philipp Haas, Samuel Beutmüller, Nico Müller, Marco Müller, Marvin Waldvogel, Christoph Köbler, and Florian Böhler. These are their all-stars that have come up through the program throughout the years. Great chemistry. All their offensive line needs is just to get it done.
Köbler. Waldvogel back. Böhler makes the catch. Mueller is streaking deep. He's normally been in the handler spot. Back to Haas. Haas has had a couple, at least, turnovers this game. Everybody holding their breath. Mueller. Haas. Swing out to space. Köbler to the end zone. Defender is there. Reads the play. El Oso with the opportunity. And that was Herrera. El Oso can score here in advance and knock out Bad Skid. Martin.
It looks like there's a call on the field. I was going to say, is Bad Skid's defense just letting Martin break free like that?
Bad Skid led 8-4. They looked control of this game. Offense was working great. And out of half, El Oso in fuego.
Shout out from Felipe Joya on Twitter. Prendan esa locomotorocito. Excelente transmisión por parte de Sky Magazine. Thank you, Felipe. And greetings to everyone out there who's watching from Colombia, from Germany. We have a universe point practically on our hands as Oso must score.
And going deep to Martin. It's out in front. Can Martin run it down to the end zone? El Oso advances! El Oso moves on to power pools.
An incredible closeout to the game from Comunidad el Oso.
Wow.
Showing, Brian, why they have been a legendary, historic team throughout the years in Colombian Ultimate. Founded in 2003, represented Colombia in 2012. In Japan at the World Championships.
And a stunning comeback, Bad Skid. Just left to pick up their pieces of this tournament. They had higher expectations than this.
Brian, it was a game with two distinct parts. We saw Bad Skid come out early. They were up 8-4 at one point. It looked like they were completely in control of the game as Oso was plagued by mistakes. But Oso took advantage of Bad Skid's mistakes. There were a couple uncharacteristic points for Bad Skid as we saw multiple turnovers on both sides. This was, without a doubt, the pool of death as we take a look at the Huck that was easily D'd.
Herrera coming down with it in great position, and then for the win.
Who else but Martin, one of the shortest players on the field, and Oso's primary deep cutter.
There's going to be a lot of discussions about that hammer foul call. Did not decide the game as Bad Skid had it in their hands and another opportunity. They would have also had to score. But nonetheless, that will sting. It'll sting, unfortunately. Florian Böhler may be playing his last game.
4 ACL surgeries in 24 years, would have liked to come out on top. And if we understand the cap situation correctly, it means that Bologna has advanced and Oso has come in as number 2, having won by 2 points. That's assuming that CUSB beat Relámpagos from the Dominican Republic, who was their other opponent in their pool.
stunning comeback here on Sky Magazine. Bad Skid led 8-4 at half, but an incredible 9-3 run ends it for El Oso. They win by 2, the minimum score they needed to move on. They'll move on with Bologna, and Bad Skid will be eliminated. And this Spirit Circle will certainly be an interesting one. And just looking at the game advisors, as we have an interview coming up on the field, game advisors will be thoroughly looked at after this game, because this is the first time we've seen them actually get involved to the extent that we thought they would, helping move on discussions and helping even provide a line call in a certain situation on the far sideline, which was very helpful.
Y si está mirando todavía desde Colombia, queremos decir pues un saludo y gracias por mirar ese partido en Sky Magazine. Comunidad el Oso, si no han entendido, va a avanzar. Ahora los Power Pools tenían que ganar ese partido por 2 puntos por poder pasar. Entonces, si lo tenemos bien entendido, han pasado ya a los Power Pools. Gracias otra vez por mirar aquí en Sky Magazine. Vamos a ir ahora para una entrevista a Sergio Martín, la estrella del partido que ha atrapado el último gol. Hola. So, if you don't understand Spanish, just giving the Colombian fans who were tuning in some additional information. We're going to go now to an interview with Sky correspondent Rachel Doznerova, who's talking to Sergio Martín.
Hi, I'm standing here with Sergio, who's from Oso. You guys just had an amazing game. How was it? How does it feel to win such a tight match?
A match strong, very difficult. I was tired, but we won the match, and it's incredible.
Excellent. You guys are in the upper pool now. What are your goals? Are there any teams that you're looking forward to playing, or where does this end? Do you guys want to get all the way to the finals?
We love won the tournament, but the other teams are strong. Talk, and it's difficult.
All right. Congratulations on the win. Thank you so much for the interview, and go enjoy with your team the victory.
Thank you.
And stay tuned, because there are more interviews coming, one with the game advisors, and we've had some people from the losing team to come talk to us as well.
werewolf is a part of you. The werewolf is a part of you. The werewolf is a part of you. The werewolf is a part of you. You know how you always said if any of you guys have any problems, even personal ones, that we should come and see you? Hey, that's what I'm here for. Great, because, you got a problem.
Oh, yeah? What kind of problem? As you can see, I'm a very busy man here.
Yeah, well, it's kind of complicated.
Oh, no, those kind of problems. Yeah. What is it, drugs? Girls? Boy, I'd sure like to help you, but I'm really tapped out this month. The IRS is breathing down my neck like it's some kind of personal vendetta against Bobby Finn style.
No, Coach. How can I put this? I'm going through changes. 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 Changes.
I'm here with Greg and Byron, the advisors from the Bad Skid and Oso game. It's quite a contentious game, and there were quite a few calls that you guys had to step in on. Would you like to just go through one or two of those, Greg?
Sure. I feel like in the first half, both teams played mostly a very clean game, and that was reflected in both the pace and the small number of calls that were there. In the second game, there were a lot more in the second half, there were a lot more calls. There was that series of travels that sort of seemed back and forth, a little bit tit for tat there. At that point, we stopped the game and brought both teams in and said, hey, you need to play more in the manner that you did in the first half. That seemed to work for a while. And then near the end of the game, I thought there were a couple of calls which were unfortunate in the way that they were resolved. The players played it as a contested foul, so the disc went back. I think Byron and I were both in agreement that those probably should have been left as turnovers.
And so we've now had probably one of the most contentious games of the tournament so far. And we're starting to see these sort of differences between the advisor role and the observer role. Would you be able to make any comment on that, and particularly with respect to that game, Byron?
Well, I mean, we saw the line call that they came to us on, which was the first one we've had that, we quoted them the rule and they quickly put the disc down. It was a turnover. It's definitely, the observer role is, a little more definitive to where you can take away some of those calls that you feel that the players aren't getting right. And when you get in the heat of the battle, it's tough to, to make the right call sometimes. You don't see the forest through the trees and you just want to make that one play.